Oh, it's nice to see you all. I'm not going to unmute you all because everyone will talk at once. So unfortunately, you just have to listen to me for a while. So welcome. What I want to do is I'll give a short talk for about 20 minutes. Then we'll come together in a group meditation. And what I'll do is I'll just have a screen on during the meditation so that I don't put you off. Then we'll have a chance to have a chat and a group session. And what we'll do is in the chat, you just let me know when you want to speak. If you want to speak, I'll unmute you or you can unmute you. And then, or if you want to speak in the chat box and I can answer or other people can answer, and we'll just see how it goes. So what I want to talk about is something that struck me in the last couple of weeks with all of that's been going on with the coronavirus. And that is that we're seeing a profound change in the balance between the masculine and the feminine. When the masculine and the feminine are in balance, we have harmony, we have sustainability, and we have a point of balance that's like a point of silence. And from that point is where consciousness creation comes from. You know the Taoist symbol of the yin and yang, and the two together intertwine and make the whole. And what's happened in our society is we've had a real imbalance for a long time. When you have that perfect balance of the feminine and the masculine, there's a natural flow of the life force energy. So when you have the balance within yourself, there's a natural flow of the life force energy. When there's a balance in our society, there's a natural flow. When there's a balance in the world, there's a natural flow. So we've been out of balance for quite a while. The masculine is to give and the feminine is to receive. And straight away, those statements, if you're thinking about our society, I think we often think of the feminine as giving and the masculine receiving. So we've kind of got it around the wrong way. It actually works the other way, to be the feminine. And remember, all of us contain both masculine and feminine. And we all need both masculine and feminine. Males will express more masculine typically, and females will express more feminine typically, but we all are a mixture of both. So when there is an imbalance, that it doesn't flow. And that's been a lot of the problems, not just within us individually. There's many women, for example, and I'm guilty of this, who overgive and are not very good at opening up to receive. There are many men that don't understand that they're there to give. They desperately want to give, but it's like we've got it all around the wrong way. And so what I'm seeing is a shift. So if I just explain some of the characteristics of the masculine and the feminine, so you can understand what I'm talking about. And remember, there's no good or bad. There's no judgment in these. They are opposing. They are needed to make that whole. You need both. The masculine is competitive. Okay, there's competition. It's hierarchical, typically. The masculine's main aim is to produce a result. It's to provide and protect. Its focus in our society certainly is on material success. It's logical, rational, and that single point of focus. And that single point of focus and that producing a result is responsible for a lot of where we are today. It's why we have this technology of Zoom. It's because someone decided they wanted to achieve a result. When you go to work, you have things you need to achieve. You achieve a result. Our education is about achieving results. So the masculine has really advanced us in a technological and a material way. But because we've been out of balance with the feminine, so the feminine is about working together. It's about cooperation. It's about the process, not the result. So it's the journey, not the destination. It's the what's happening on the way to the result matters. So you can see in that example, if you've got the masculine setting the goal and striving for the result, the feminine is involved with the process of getting there. So the two work beautifully together. The feminine is about nurturing and nourishing. There's a focus on people and the quality of life. It's about the big picture, it's intuitive, it's creative. So you can see if you bring those two together, you've got a really good balance. But we've lived in a society for a long time that's been much more masculine in our values, although this is changing. Remember, we need both. It's imbalance that causes the problems. So we've become too polarized in the masculine and striving to advance in technology, materially, and we've lost our culture. Not all societies, many cultures in the world still value the feminine a lot more than we do, and we've got out of balance. If we were in balance, the caring professions would be valued more and paid more. Mothers, people who stay at home and look after children would be valued more and probably paid. Do you see what I mean? How we're out, we're out of balance. There's a guy I was reading online, Gert Hofstede, in his work, and he suggested that in a masculine culture, gender roles are quite defined. So you do this and you do that. And that's how it was perhaps for our grandparents, much more. I remember my grandmother stayed at home and built a home, and my grandfather went out to work. There wasn't much merging of those roles at all. But in a more feminine cultural society, those roles become much more fluid. The sharing of the roles, there's a blending of the roles. And you can see that we've already been moving toward that. Many families now share childcare, they share the earning, they share a lot more. There's a lot more of that blending of the gender roles. But what I've seen with this coronavirus, within weeks, we've seen a huge shift, a really dramatic shift that I believe shifting this balance. So much more feminine, so much more value on the feminine. We're seeing what it is to live in a society that cares for its elderly and its vulnerable. We're seeing cooperation amongst neighbours. We're seeing, community groups. We're seeing people looking out for each other. The process, the quality of life is important. We're reaching out to those who might be lonely. We're in need. We're putting aside our differences and doing what's right and good and true. And this, the collective response to this virus, I mean, sure, there's been people who have abused it, but on the whole, the collective response has been overwhelmingly positive. There's so much support on social media. People are actually being asked to give up their living, their livelihood, to stay at home and sacrifice or put on the line their family's livelihood and isolate for the sake of those who are vulnerable in our society. And that's unheard of. You know, the whole, the government that we have, which is a government that's traditionally based on more masculine values, has just turned around, and suddenly they're looking after our caring workers, our NHS support staff. The government is looking out for those who are going to have a loss of income. They are bringing people together and you know, putting quite strict rules in place to keep people isolated so that they don't spread the virus, and look after those who are more vulnerable if they do contract the virus. There's tax incentives. If you're self-employed, you get 6 months more to pay your tax. They're even looking at, you know, starting to look at sick pay laws and some of the help for people who are self-employed. So I think that this is a really positive sign It shows that we can have a crisis and that people can come together and people can change really quickly. We're seeing an explosion of goodwill toward others on social media. People are giving away things for free. They're saying, this is what I can do to help. Try this, do this. It's really, they're responding from the heart. For example, I got an email, I can't remember, I think I got it on Monday. The NHS were seeking volunteers to help no, it might have been Tuesday. By Tuesday evening, 170,000 people had already signed up as volunteers. But within a couple of days, they had 700,000 people on their books. In my local community, there's a local community group. They've got more volunteers than they've got people who need care. And we're seeing this a lot. I've seen Facebook posts from someone in London saying, you know, my parents are elderly, they're in Saltney. You know, anyone who lives nearby, can you go and knock on their door? I'm worried about them. Can you just take them the paper and some milk and some bread? And numerous responses, yeah, I live down the road. What number are they? Oh, sure, I'll go and knock on the door. So this is the rise of the feminine. This is the caring about others and the quality of life. So even though we're isolated, the feminine is to come together, to connect. It's about relationship. So even though we're physically isolated, we're actually in many ways more connected in the last few weeks than we have been in a long time. Some people would say since, you know, since the last war, when this innate wonderful capacity of people to come together in a time of crisis, to put aside their own needs and to look out for others, which we're seeing the rise of. My hope is that it continues after this latest crisis has run its course. We're seeing a shift from the masculine as much more a single focus, an individual focus, to a collective group focus. You know, we're in this together. Countries are communicating. People, medical staff, scientists are communicating. We're working on this as a humankind. So we're starting to experience not just the idea of oneness and a collective mankind, we're actually experiencing it. We're saying, yeah, we are in this together, and that's the only way we're going to get through this, is together. The virus is collectively opening hearts and asking us to step up into our highest expression. And I believe it's a massive, massive soul connection is going on. And it's for people who maybe haven't connected with that compassion, that caring side of them. I've seen posts on Facebook, you know, a really heartfelt one from a guy saying, I'm a single guy, I'm at home, I would love to help. Who needs help? Please let me help you. Things like this. So those higher heart qualities, courage, there's so much fear. There's so many people posting things to help people with the fear, to bring people back to a place of peace so that they're not worried about what's happening, and they trust that it will be fine. Many people, the feminine is adaptable. The feminine is very good at adapting to their environment. We're seeing amazing capacities of people to adapt. You know, within days, people who had a business that could never be online, and suddenly they're online and they're working online, they're helping people, they're finding ways to carry on and provide the services. I've been amazed at the way, like my son and his mates, they've just embraced working from home. They're in a group chat, they do their work together, they're explaining stuff to each other, they've got the teacher on the chat, they're giving the teacher a hard time, the teacher's explaining something. It's just been brilliant, the way they just adapted to it. So it's my hope that this shift, that we maintain this, that this balance where we were too masculine, not enough feminine, we're doing this. If we could find this place and stay there after this is over. And there's many people expressing this. And I think people are being isolated and given a chance to reflect on their life. And I know I'm doing this. I had no idea I was so stressed and run down. I've had a couple of weeks, to recover from an illness. You know, usually I have to keep going. I'm self-employed. If I don't work, I don't earn. You know, this virus it's not a nice one. I haven't had it really badly, but it keeps coming back. As soon as you're back on your feet, it knocks you back again. You're back on your feet, knocks you back again. And this has been a total luxury. I've had days where I have had people deliver food to my door. I have just been able to stay in bed and get well. And that is amazing. Do you know what I mean? That is, it's a luxury. And, you know, I've had a think, you know, I don't want to live at the pace that I was living at before. I want to have time. I've connected to so many friends, people all around the world. I was watching a friend in Johannesburg that I went to school with, and they're not allowed out to even exercise. They're not allowed out of their house at all, apart from food and medical supplies. And so he had gone on Strata, which is a program that maps your exercise. So if you go for a run, you can go on Strata and it tells you how far you ran and where you ran and how fast you ran, or you go on a bike ride or whatever. So he switched Strata on when he mowed his lawn. And there's a little diagram on Facebook of the 2.5 kilometers he walked mowing his lawn. So it's, you know, it's connection. It's having time to talk to people on the phone. It's having time to just connect because we're at home. The other thing that's happening is from the shift towards the feminine is our planet is healing. And she's healing really quickly. You know, Gaia is healing. She's the air, and when they measure the air is cleaner. There's so much less pollution. The ozone layer has, the hole in the ozone layer is a huge hole over Australia and New Zealand. It's diminished just within weeks. We're seeing the natural world responding really quickly and really positively. And what this is showing us is that we can act collectively and really quickly, and we can make a difference to climate change if we want to. This is almost like this virus has given us it's given us an opportunity. I see it as an opportunity to change the way we live, to change our relationship with our planet. I want to talk a little bit about the alignment, just a little bit about the astrology that's going on. I'll just touch on this because I don't want to go over time. I don't know if you've looked up into the sky over the last few weeks and seen the beautiful alignment between the moon and Venus. I don't know the significance of it, but they both represent the divine feminine. We're in the sign of Aries now, and it's the start of the spiritual year. Aries is the spiritual warrior who destroys the old and brings in the new. Aries is the passion and the fire and the will to change. So this is very positive, supporting energy. We're in Aries at the moment. We've not long had the new moon last week. And in Aries, we see the spiritual leader, we see the warrior. It's the phoenix rising from the ashes, is typical Aries. We've got a huge rise in goodwill, and there's many esoteric books written about the will to good, or the will to God, it's sometimes called. And it's the highest expression of love, of collective love that we can express on the planet at the moment. We've got a convergence. Jupiter and Pluto are really close at the moment. This will amplify fear and worry, but also helps us to uncover a sense of communal power. We're seeing that we are strong when we come together. None of us could do this on our own. Not at all. I've had so many people, you know, I haven't been out of my house for, 16 days. And I've been fed. I've got everything, you know, I've had people look after me. It's been amazing. We're moving now from the age of Pisces And you will have probably, I've touched on this in other talks, we're moving out of an age of Pisces, which was all about mankind self-realizing. And we're moving into Aquarius, which is about group realization, about the emergence of right relations, both within yourself, between other people, between communities, between nations within the world. Right relations with our planet, right relations with the plant kingdom, right relations with the animal kingdom. So we're starting to see, I think that this is almost like a collective opening of the heart and connection to our soul that this virus is invoking. And they talk in many of Alice Bailey's book about stages of initiation on a spiritual path or journey. And the major one, the first one is when you sort of first wake up spiritually and you feel a call from your soul. And often people get into meditation and yoga and stuff in that first wake up call. They become dissatisfied with the world and they start seeking elsewhere and start seeking inward. And then the second sort of big transformation or big step on the spiritual path is where the heart breaks open. And we see lifting things like conditional love up to unconditional love. We see pity becoming compassion. We see care and service for our fellow man. We see the will to good. We see forgiveness. We start to express these qualities. And one of the big signs of the second awakening is when people can lift up out of their own selfish needs and help others. That call to the collective good. And I think that this virus is bringing us into that. It's really having a massive heart opening to those people who are responsive. There are lots of people who are not responding. There are lots of people who are taking advantage of the situation. But I wouldn't say on the whole, not at all. So despite our social distancing and fears about this virus, we've come together like never before. It's been likened to the spirit of our grandparents during the war. And ironically, we're being asked to socially isolate and look after them now. So it's like we can do something for them because they went through a lot worse than this. So that we have freedom of speech, so that I can speak to you like this, and so that we can come together. So what I see this virus, this rise of the feminine, this rise of the nurturing and the caring and the compassion. It's giving us not just an intellectual understanding of oneness, but the experience of it. We may look back and see this virus as a gift that transformed humanity and set us back on the path to balance, to right relations and to peaceful harmony. I really hope so. I don't want to go back to life before. I hope a lot of people feel the same. You know, the way, the pictures I've seen of our planet, you know, we can do this. We can change. We can change the way we live. And I believe this is giving us a chance to just have a bit of a think about individually and collectively how we do that. So the rise of the feminine will bring us into that balance. I see it as a positive thing. Sure, we've got to go through, you know, the pain, the fear, the doubts. Many people will lose people. And, you know, that is almost the collective pain we go through to emerge into something much greater. So if you have questions or comments or that you want to make anything to do with the talk, we'll leave those to after the meditation, because what I want to do now is, I'm aware of the time, is get on with this meditation. So what I'm going to do, I'll keep talking, but I'm going to change the screen so that we just have a nice peaceful picture, because otherwise I think you'll be distracted by seeing other people or by seeing me or what have you, what's going on the screen. So what I want to do is, before we do that, there's an affirmation of love that is a mantra used by many groups in group meditation. So I'd like to start with that, and all you do, we can just say it together. You can say it in your head. You can say it out loud at home. The main thing is that our intention is to say it together. And then I'd like at the end of the meditation to say the Great Invocation, if you're okay with that. The Great Invocation is a prayer that was given out by, I suppose you could say, more advanced beings than us on a spiritual path. And it was given out to humanity after the war. And what it is, it's a prayer that's said when groups come together in meditation that invokes higher energies to just sort of help mankind get back on the right path, if you like. So I'm going to disappear off your screens, but you should still be able to hear me if I've got the technology right. Okay, let's see if I can do this. Yes. Can you see that? Give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Good. Okay. So get yourself comfortable. Can you hear me still? Yeah, good. Okay, get yourself comfortable. So you want to be sitting upright but not rigid, feeling relaxed. Just lift your shoulders up around your ears. Breathe in. Breathe out, let your shoulders drop. That's it. So we're just going to begin by having the intention that we come together as a group. So just close your eyes for a moment and just feel this group. And then opening your eyes, we're just going to, I'll say the affirmation of love. And if you either say it out loud where you are or in your head. In the center of all love, I stand. From that center, I, the soul, will outward move. From that center, I, the one who serves, will work. May the love of the divine self be shed abroad in my heart, through my group, and throughout the world. So if you gently close your eyes now, and we'll come into the meditation. Before we begin, I'd just like you to imagine that you're sending a connection down into the earth, either through your feet or through your base chakra, just so we ground our energy. Now I invite you to come into this present moment. So start by just noticing your body sitting on the chair. Notice the clothes on your skin. Notice any sounds in this moment. And then gently take your awareness to the breath. And just notice your body breathing in. Notice your body as it breathes out. And just keep a gentle focus on the breath. And just feel your body beginning to relax. So keep that gentle focus on the breath. If your mind becomes distracted, as soon as you realize, just come back to the breath. And when you come back, just come back with loving kindness. keeping this gentle focus on the breath, let it start to take you inward. Follow your breath and let it take you into a quiet place inside. You'll be aware of thoughts, but they're just like movements in your mind. They come into your mind and pass through. And you just keep a gentle focus on the breath. Just connecting with this quiet place inside where you are calm, strong, and clear. Now gently bring your awareness to the area of the center of your chest, into your heart center. And I want you to imagine a beautiful lotus bud there. As you breathe into your heart center, this beautiful flower is going to slowly open, revealing 6 perfectly formed petals in cerise pink or white or yellow. Keep your awareness on the center of your chest and just start to see that lotus flower slowly unfolding. Imagine that you are breathing in love and light into the center of your chest, allowing that beautiful flower to unfold. If there's any feeling of restriction in your chest, just be with that. A lovely feeling of being open and spacious. And now I want you to imagine that through your heart center you are connecting to your higher self or your soul, the highest aspect of you. Now imagine that your soul is just infusing your whole body with a beautiful light. It's pouring in through the crown of your head and down through the 7 major chakras or energy centers in your body. And this light is love. You can imagine it as a white light, or some people like a gold light, or a violet purple light, whichever resonates with you. Just feel it pouring down into your whole being. So that you are gradually filling your whole physical being with this light, this love from your highest self. The lotus flower is where we receive this love. And the lotus flower distributes this love throughout our body. Now keep filling your body with this light. This light purifies, it cleanses, it heals, and it strengthens. It strengthens your immune system. It is calming your emotions, bringing peace. It's strengthening your mind. Now let this light flow out into the energy field, excuse me, the aura that surrounds your whole physical body. Now imagine that this light is flowing out to fill your whole home, your family, your house. Now let it flow out to fill your street, your neighborhood. Let it flow out to fill the town that you live in, the city that you live in. Now slowly but surely let it fill this whole nation, bringing cleansing and healing, love and support to all who need it. Strengthening their energy fields, strengthening their physical, emotional, mental bodies, connecting them to their highest aspect. Now connect with all the others in this group. And together we're going to let this love and this light flow out into our whole planet, all countries, right around the whole planet. Bringing love and light to all who need it. Knowing that we connect with groups who are doing the same sort of meditations all over the world. You can imagine the planet with lots of little lights turning on as people meditate together. Now imagine that you're viewing the world from space. You can see our whole beautiful planet. And you can see a glorious light surrounding the whole planet like an aura. Healing, cleansing. Now see that light flowing down into the hearts and minds of all men and women who are open to that. Igniting and opening their hearts to love, to caring, to compassion, to choosing to change, to implement the will to good, to bring about right relations within themselves, with each other, to work together, to realize they are their brother's keeper. Bringing peace, lifting our awareness, lifting the collective consciousness so that we can return to a way of living that is peaceful and in harmony with each other and with our beautiful planet. Hold this image. See the light building as it radiates out from you and surrounds the world from our group. See the light building that surrounds the planet and see it flowing down, igniting the will of those who seek to change, bringing right relations with the animal kingdom, with the plant kingdom. Now I invite you to join with me in repeating the great invocation. And when you do, repeat it with conviction, with determination, pausing between each stanza to imagine the words being played out. At the end, we will sound 3 ohms together. You can do this silently or aloud where you are. If you look on your screen, from the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Ooh. Now gently bring your energy back into your own energy field. And just sit quietly for a few moments. Take a nice deep breath in and just start coming back into your physical body, into an awareness of where you are. And when you are ready, you can slowly open your eyes. Thank you. That was lovely. Did you feel the power? Yeah. Okay, now it's your turn. If you want to, I'll keep an eye on the chat. I could try unmuting everybody, but I think it might be chaos. So either put your hand up so I can see you if you would like to unmute and speak to the group. Or if you want to speak through the chat, that's fine. But especially if there's anything that you want to ask or you want to open up to the group about the idea of the change that this virus might be invoking in the way that we are, especially that rise in the feminine. If there's anything you've got to say about that. So let me know if you want to speak. If you want to speak, all you do is you go down to that little picture of a speaker in your bottom left-hand corner that's got a red line through it. And you just click on it and it will mean that you are able to speak. So let me know if you want to speak. You're all but look a bit stunned. Yeah, Paula, I felt the love too. It really felt like we were connected as a group. That's a powerful way to meditate, and it makes such a difference. Has anyone got any more questions they want to ask, or any comments, anything they've thought about? Paula, unmute your microphone.
Especially this week, that heart coherence has really helped. Sometimes it's felt a bit overwhelming, and I've really needed to try and center myself from what's going on outside. So that's really helped, Teresa.
Oh, good. Yeah. Well, if you can come into your heart coherence, what it does, it overrides, or it takes you out of that worry, anxiety loop that your mind gets you into, and your mind and your body get into this loop. Worrying thoughts set off the whole fear, fight, flight, freeze reaction in your body tenses, and then your mind thinks of some more worrying thoughts, and you wind up in a horrible loop. So when you come into your heart, the heart is connected to your soul, to your higher self. And just by breathing into a higher heart quality that you can resonate with, so it might be love, it might be gratitude, it can be enthusiasm, it can be anything that lifts your vibration. It just slices through that loop. And the beauty of your heart is there's such a powerful, strong love here, and an acceptance of a situation. It's where we find courage. It's where we find all the qualities we need to deal with this sort of fear. And it just cuts through and helps you to lift up into what I call is the higher aspect of your mind that can just, no, look, this is okay. Right here in this present moment, I am okay. These are thoughts, these worrying thoughts are usually from the past or projected into the future. Right here and now is always fine. And so that heart coherence brings you into the here and now. It aligns, brings your mind into resonance with the intelligence of the heart, and it brings your body through your gut into the resonance of the intelligence of your heart. And it really strengthens your immune system, for sure. Yeah. So glad you enjoy that. Yeah, it's so simple but so powerful. Anybody else? Gone shy on me.
Can you hear me?
Oh, Kirsty, yes.
Hello. I just want to say hello to everybody.
Oh,
I'm missing everybody. Keep well, and thank you, Teresa, for organising this.
That's fine. That's fine. Now I'm over the kind of technical worries of how do I do this technically. It's quite fun. Yeah.
It is fun, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Lovely. Well, thank you very much anyway.
No
it's
problem.
Really good.
No problem. Hello, Larissa. I can see you waving. It does, doesn't it, Caroline? It really helps to see people. Oh, Susie. It's been really great to connect. Yeah, I too believe this massive virus globally is here to clear a wake-up call, to make people aware that we need to be together. Yeah, I agree. I agree totally. Can I tell everyone where you and I first met, Susie? Susie and I met on a yoga retreat in Turkey. It was an interesting retreat. And we got a bit sick of the, what should we say, restrictions of the retreat one day, and we wandered off and did our own thing, didn't we? So bless. It's nice to see you again. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you all mastered the technology of Zoom. We were supposed to have a few more people, but I think best intentions and all that. And I wonder actually if some people didn't realize the clocks had changed. But no, it's good.
Yeah, I was just going to say the message came up at 6 o'clock because I think it's on GMT. So.
Oh, that's probably something I did. I've done a crash course in Zoom.
No, I don't think so, because another one I was doing earlier came up as GMT, although she was in London. So I think it's just it seems to come up with a GMT time, and of course we've now moved. So
no.
So people might have been waiting at 6 o'clock for you.
Oh, I think I was still cooking dinner then.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah. Oh, no, it's lovely. Oh, yeah. Teresa, I've missed you all. Please look after yourself and loved ones. Stay safe. Thank you, Teresa, and everyone for keeping beautiful energy. Yeah. The energy when we come together in a group meditation, I've read quite a lot about it, and it's so powerful. It's like an exponential curve. So even just a few people coming together, with like-minded and similar intention, has such a powerful effect. And there's lots and lots of these going on all around the world. And the beautiful thing is people got time. Do you know what I mean? You can actually spend your day going on Zoom sessions if you want to, connecting with various things that maybe you don't normally have time to do. I know Linda, you were saying families are connecting on Zoom. I know both my sisters teach dance classes, and they're busy teaching dance classes on Zoom. So people are finding all kinds of ways, which is...
Yeah, but both my choirs are as well. Can you hear me? Both my choirs are connecting on Zoom as well.
Oh, wow.
He has to mute us and just play the music, and we sing to ourselves. We can't all hear each other, because if we did, because of the time delay, it would sound awful.
Yeah.
So he plays and we sing along. But it's lovely I can still see everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a lovely thing to do.
But you come to realize just how much getting together with people matters.
Very much, yeah.
So, there's a lot of people who, we've been living in isolation. There's a lot of people who live like this all the time. They barely have any human contact. And I think, we've been reaching out to them in the last couple of weeks, and that's just so good. Yeah, it is really good. So what do you think? I want some comments. You can put in the chat. Do you think that after this we'll just go back to life as usual?
No. Never. No. This is the beginning of what you said. Yeah. You said it was going to happen between 2020 and 2025.
I did.
This is the beginning.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking I might try and get an astrologer to do a little talk on this if I can twist his arm. We know who we're talking about.
Right.
But no, this time now that we're in, especially leading up to 2025, is being predicted and written about. And yeah, the astrology is all there. There's it is the beginning of change, and change is scary. People find change worrying, but remember that we have an amazing capacity to change when we work together. On our own, it can be daunting, but when you work together, it's amazing what we can achieve. It really is. And if you look at some of the, even just for me, the changes that have happened in these few weeks, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to, the air pollution and the people living next door to each other and never communicating, and people feeling isolated and they can't reach out to ask for help. Yeah, I know myself. I don't want to go back to living in such a frenetic way. I'm not sure how 2 teenage kids are going to cope with that, but yeah, less materialistic. Exactly. You really don't need a lot. You really don't. Even the first week that Dan and I were isolated, the symptoms came on quite quickly, and so we both isolated. I sent my daughter to her dad straight away, and we both isolated, and I was due to do a shop. I'd let everything run right down. We had no food. We really didn't. So a few people gave us a few bits, and with the virus you completely lose your appetite, so we weren't eating much anyway. But I was actually having to think, okay, how do I make what we've got last today, last another day? Because, it's amazing. We've had some really creative meals. And this is especially when there were shortages of things. There were a few, and then there was a few days there where we were coming out of the virus, and especially Dan's been better than I have. And he was hungry. He's a 15-year-old boy, and he hasn't eaten anything for a week. He was ravenous, and he was just looking for protein, and we couldn't get any. And people were all over looking for chicken for us, looking for eggs for us. But there was, he's learnt to cook this week. He's learnt. It's been so nice for me, because he's a twin, to have time with one of them, for him to have time with me, for Emily to have time with her dad. It's been hard being separated, but equally it's been a lot calmer and quieter. When you got 4 kids, one is so easy.
Are they all with you now, Teresa? Are they all with you now?
No. My son Tom is living down the road at his girlfriend's parents. He wants to come home, but because this virus comes back, like I thought a few days ago that I was over it, and then boom, you can hear it on my chest, and temperature back in bed. And so I was like, I can't let them come back. It's different if you're isolating because you're worried about getting it. It's quite different if you've got it. You've got to be more careful. So Emily gets asthma, so I don't want her coming back into the house till I'm absolutely clear that, Dan is fine, but I still, every now and then you get a wave of like a temperature. You might just have a temperature for a couple of hours and then it goes. So it's obviously going, but it's tenacious. I'm not unwell, but I want to be very careful. And so Tom and Emily will come back as soon as, plus Dan and I, with only us here, I haven't been doing all the cleaning, all the door handles and everything, because we're both sick and it doesn't matter. So I have to do a massive clean before they can come back in. So I'm just going to give it another couple of days. I want to be totally sure. But it's, it's like having the flu. You have the flu and it knocks your energy, and you get back up and go and do something thinking you're fine, and you realize actually you're not as fine as you thought you were, and you're back in bed again. And that's how it goes. It teaches us to be kind. I've spent so much time reading books and just sitting in the sun and just doing nothing. It's been lovely. Yeah, so we'll get there. But I have missed teaching. Not the first week. First week I didn't do any yoga for about 10 days. I couldn't. Just had no inkling. Lots of meditation, lots of breathing work, lots of the more subtle yoga, the mudras, but the heavy going yoga, my body wasn't interested, so I didn't. I'm dying to go for a walk, and that's a really good sign. Can't wait. So it's one of those, you do what you got to do, but it's, for, the support of people has been amazing, and that's really hit home to me. I as a single mum, sometimes you can feel a bit on your own, I don't feel on my own. So I mean, I've had so much support, and that's been really good. And things like this meditation, you know, and I can't wait to teach. God knows what it'd be like trying to teach yoga to a computer screen. But if it's like this, like I can see all of you on the screen. If it's like this and I'm teaching, that would be fine. But I'm sure there'll be some technical hiccups because, you know, I haven't got like a studio. In fact, it was quite funny me walking around the house with my laptop trying to find somewhere where I didn't look like a ghost, or or I could put it far enough away that you'd be able to see me doing yoga. You wouldn't just have my head cut off and my feet cut off. And then the sun shines and it's like you can't see me at all. So it's been yeah, it's been good. Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I mean, I think, you know, I'm fairly robust. I think I'm lucky in a way because I don't have any fear of catching it. It's like, feel the fear and do it anyway. I'm right, you know, before I knew it, I was right in there. And, you know, it's just a case of oh yeah, it's my lounge. It's just a case of, you know, you just focus on getting well. Everything else stops and you just focus on getting well. And that's what's got to happen. I'm lucky because I get a bit of asthma. I had some inhalers here, so I've been taking those. But no, it's, I've considered it a little bit of a holiday. I'd rather have been well, but you know. Yeah, it is a bit scary, and I understand. Yeah, when you just don't know. Yeah, it is, and I think I was talking to my son today, who's in Hull, and you know he has a sore throat, and he's like, "Does this mean I'm getting it?" And that anxiety is probably worse than anything. I think if you you get the sore throat and then you get the high temperature and you think, oh, right, okay, we're in this. What do I normally do for a high temperature? And that's what you do. But it's the fear and the sort of, you know, will I, my biggest fear was, will I give it to anybody else? And that's why I have, you know, isolated for longer than maybe I had to by government sort of guidelines, because I just felt like I needed to. I need to be totally well before I go near anybody. But yeah, it is scary. It is, but we're in this together, and it's difficult to do nothing. Yeah, yeah, and I think if you do, it's the best thing to do. Totally. I think if you can find, staying in is hard, but if you can find, I found if you can find a structure in your day a little bit, like, I mean, you know, I sort of set myself a goal, if I could sort of be out of my pajamas by lunchtime, that would be good. And you know, it was getting like, okay, a shower by 2 o'clock would be good. And you know, start the day meditating, and I've been ending the day meditating and doing things like that, heart coherence, going on Facebook, but only for short amounts of time and only looking at the positive stuff. That sounds really maybe a bit naive, but you've got to protect what's coming into your energy. So I've read a lot of positive stuff. I did make the mistake one night of reading quite a negative post, and it threw me, and I just had to really pull myself back to being okay. So in some ways I've kept off mainstream media, and I think that's helpful. I think if you were watching the news all the time, it could have a negative effect, actually. But is anyone? Yeah, go for it, Susie.
Just unmute. Hello, everybody. I just need to sort of head off now and get some food, and my son's on doing some live fire throwing or whatever, he's doing a bit of music or something. So great to meet you all.
Lovely.
Thank you very much, Teresa. And yeah, hope to see you all again. No doubt if you're doing another one, you'll get us an email through, Teresa.
Yeah, I'll do one on Thursday evening.
Okay.
I'll send you something through.
Yeah, I might not get to because it's the National Theatre streaming on Thursday night that I want to see all these things that I don't normally do.
I know.
I've got
lovely to see you
tonight, but thank you, everybody. Bye.
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 Yeah, I would stop watching the news. I would say that's key. Yeah, I think that it's protecting. It's just protecting your mind. Once a day, just the factual stuff, not the opinions, not the sensational stuff, just the factual stuff. I mean, what I do, I just go on the government kind of thing and have a look. What's going on there? Don't bother with all the. I probably wouldn't read it, and you know, there's a lot of supportive stuff been going around. You know, people sending each other, but again, you choose. Sometimes you just had enough. I had one day there, I just in the garden and just totally ignored everybody for the whole day. Did me the world good. I just had enough of the news. So that's a choice. You know, that's a healing choice. But I want to whole evening because I'm aware that we've been here for a while. What I'm going to do, like I said to Susie, is I'll do another one on Thursday. I'll send you an email, and I'll probably, I mean, if you've got ideas about what you'd like me to do a little talk about, but I thought I might talk about our energy body and how things like this affect our energy body, and how the energy body affects your physical body and how the two work together in health, if that's something you'd like to hear about. Right. So massive heartfelt thanks. Namaste. Stay safe and we'll connect soon. Bye.